Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. It's that time of the week where I go over my NFL predictions for this week. So let's get started with tonight's football game between the Cowboys and the Lions, who are 3.5 point favorites. This is a big game for both teams. The loser of this game is on the outside looking in as far as making the playoffs, especially if it's Detroit, since Detroit's schedule is way harder than the Cowboys' schedule going forward. It'll be interesting to see how Detroit looks, especially on offense, since Amon-Ra St. Brown might be out this game, and we already know Sam Porter's out for the season. So we'll see how that offense looks. Because on Thanksgiving Day, when Amon-Ra St. Brown went out, it was very Jameer Gibbs reliant and Jameson Williams reliant passing wise, but really Jameer Gibbs reliant. So it'll be interesting how that works for them. And then defensively, we already know they have a bunch of injuries in the secondary and all that, which the Cowboys can obviously easily exploit with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. So this game, like I said, it really comes down to, can Jameer Gibbs go off for Detroit, which he obviously can. He has games like that where he can go off. If he can go off like that, then sure, Detroit can win. I have gone back and forth on this game on who I think is going to win. I was thinking Detroit for the long time, but now I'm switching it over to the Cowboys to get the upset, and they can continue on with their winning streak. I have them winning 27-24. Okay, and then you got the Dolphins versus the Jets. This may be a prisoner of the moment thinking here, but I actually like the Jets to get the upset in this game. I think that while veteran backup quarterback Tyrod Taylor, while he doesn't have the big playability like maybe Justin Fields does, he's that consistent engine that can guide this offense, unlike Fields. Miami's offense is hit and miss too much, and that now they're going to have to play, in New Jersey with the weather and all that, which we already know Miami doesn't play well in bad weather. So I would take the Jets in a close game here to get the win. I have Jets winning 21-19. Next, you got the Steelers versus the Ravens, who are 5.5 point favorites. This is a big game for whoever takes the division lead. What's awkward in this game, though, is that Steelers backup quarterback Mason Rudolph in his two starts actually played better than Aaron Rodgers did this past Sunday. So I'm not sure if that was him coming back from injury too early, or if it was, maybe since he's older now, he's just going to start showing a decline, as the rest of the season goes on. I'm not sure. Also with Pittsburgh defense worrying me as well, I'm going to go with Baltimore to win this game. Now, the big question for Baltimore is that, can this be the game where their offense finally gets out of their funk? I have Baltimore winning 20-13. Next, you got the Saints versus the Buccaneers. Tampa knows, with Carolina on its heels for the division lead, that they can't mess around, lose the home game to the Saints. I think they'll take care of business and win 24-13. Next, you got the Colts, who are 1.5 point favorites versus the Jaguars. These two teams will play again before the end of the season, so this is not an end-all be-all type of game here, but, whoever wins it will have a division lead for now. I have not liked what I've seen from the Colts recently on offense. However, the Jaguars do have some injuries that are starting to pile up. I just don't know exactly what to expect in this game. If I had to guess, I would guess a lower scoring game. And I'll roll with the home team here to get the win. I have them winning 20-17. Next, you get the Titans versus the Browns, who are 4.5 point favorites. I know Browns quarterback Shadir Sanders did not look the best last week against a good 49ers defense, but now he can go back to looking okay like he did against Vegas 2 weeks ago, since the Titans are that bad. I have Cleveland winning 20-10. Next, you got the Commanders versus the Vikings, who are 2.5 point favorites. A lot of people are thinking or liking the Commanders to get a road win, since even though J.J. McCarthy's back for the Vikings, obviously he's not going to do much on offense because he wasn't doing much offense before he got hurt. However, there's another thought of food for thought that, well, since the Commanders played a super hard-fought game on Sunday Football that went into overtime against Denver, that they maybe don't have as much left in the tank for this game, and they may come out flat, and therefore the defense from Minnesota can get them to win. I think it'll be a low-scoring game for sure. I will take the Commanders, though, to get the upset, just because I like the Commanders' offense as of right now better than what I've seen from the Vikings' offense. I have the Commanders winning 17-16. Next, you got the Seahawks, who are 7 point favorites versus the Falcons. Even though Seattle has to travel out west for an early kickoff here, I do like the Seattle in this game. I think the pass rusher is going to bother Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins, and enough to where it's going to be hard for Falcons to score, even if Seattle has stagnant moments on offense like they did last week. I have Seattle winning 23-13. Next, you have the Bengals versus the Bills, who are 5.5-point favorites. If the Bengals want to win the division, they really kind of need to win out in order to do that, and that won't be easy. Even though the Bengals can score, Buffalo at home plays a lot better, and I think they will outscore Cincy to get the win here. I have them winning 31-23. Next, you got the Broncos, who are 7.5-point favorites, versus the Raiders. For some reason, this was a close game in Denver on Thursday Night Football a month ago. So can Denver play better on offense this time around to take care of business? I think they will. I have Denver winning 20-9. Next, you get the Bears versus the Packers, who are 6.5-point favorites. Unless something good happens for Detroit going forward, the division crown will basically come down to these two teams. Chicago head coach Ben Johnson always got the better of Green Bay's Matt LaFleur back in their battles, especially last year. I would not be shocked if the Bears get the win, but I think the Packers at home will just find a way to get a win and defend a home field, either winning 24-20. Next, you got the Rams, or 8.5-point favorites versus the Cardinals. As they say, when a good team gets embarrassed, and defensively they got embarrassed last week, they usually bounce back. So this is a huge spot, or a tough spot, I should say, for Arizona, because I like the Rams to get the big win here, either winning 31-20. And then for Sunday football, you got the Texans versus the Chiefs, who are 3.5-point favorites. For Houston, this is not a must-win since their schedule is favorable going forward, although a win here will certainly help their cause, versus the Chiefs, where they have to win out in order to even sniff the playoffs. This is a bad matchup for the Chiefs since Houston has an elite defense and elite pass rush, and Kansas City's offensive line, as we know, is not good. However, with the season on the line, I think this team, even though it won't be pretty, just finds a way. Mahomes with the season on the line, just find a way to get a win, either winning 19-17. And then for Monday Night Football, you got the Eagles, they're 2.5-point favorites versus the Chargers. The Eagles caught a big break here with Chargers scored by Justin Herbert. Is probably not going to be able to go in this game, so therefore Trey Lance, the backup, will go. And even if Herbert does play in this game, it's hard to see how effective he would be since he just had hand surgery earlier this week. The Eagles' offense still has its issues, no doubt. So I think Philadelphia's defense, even though it won't have Jalen Carr in this game, can hold down the fort and help break the 2-game lose streak for the Eagles. I have Philly winning 16-9. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe to my channel and tell me about me. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.